Hey everyone, it's Bridget here from Bridget's Kitchen. Welcome to today's very quick little cooking class. I thought I would do something that is going to be eaten for dinner tonight because I was thinking about curry. I'm thinking about curry as I was lying in bed this morning before I got. I was like, I think it's time for a bit of a curry for the family. And as you know, I don't eat white rice. I do not eat rice at all. Actually, I find it goes through us way too quickly. It's definitely not a ingredient that is advisable if you really are trying to look after your gut health and look after your weight as well. So instead of having white rice, what I thought I would do is I would create a little flatbread that we could serve instead of the white rice. I'll still serve some vegetables on the side of the curry as well, but I'll use the flatbread to really soak up all those curry juices. So I was kind of having to think about how I'd be able to create this flatbread, and I think I've come up with a bit of a winner. So I'm super excited to be able to share this flatbread recipe with you today. So thank you for joining me wherever you are. Please say hi to Lena. Hi Lena. Good to see you on a live. It has been a while since you've been live with us. So thank you. Welcome. Come on in. We're going to be cooking a little bit of flatbread today, which is, like I said, it's super exciting. But remember, this is a healthy treat. So this is the sort of bread that I don't eat all the time. It is made with literally 4 healthy ingredients, but it's also just one of those ones that I like to say for, as a side, as opposed to I'm going to eat this coconut flatbread every day, and it does work really, really well with curry. So if you're joining me for the first time, welcome, come on in. Please feel free to like this video and share it as well, because we want to share these wonderful recipes with as many people as possible. But when it comes to these types of healthy treats, as I was saying, it's not something that we want to eat every day. We do need to make sure that we're eating lots of vegetables, we're eating moderate amounts of good quality protein, we've got a bit of healthy fats in there as well. But the main idea when it comes to something like a healthy treat is it's a treat. And talking about treats, I have got a ebook called Healthy Treats, Bridget's Healthy Treats, and it is currently available, and I've just put together this amazing Facebook shop, so you can go onto my Facebook shop. I think Mahay's going to drop a link into that Facebook shop now, and you can purchase the hard copy of Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, the cookbook. You can purchase the Kindle version of Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, the cookbook as well. You can also purchase my 28-day meal plan, and I've got an ebook available there, which is my Healthy Treats ebook, which is 30 recipes, some of my favorites, some of the audience's favorite recipes as well. And included in those recipes, included in there, I give you recipes for lots of different types of cookies. Like, I've got my list here. This is the table of contents. Table of contents: gluten and sugar-free pancakes, coconut and cardamom cookies. I also give you my recipe for my healthier banana berry bread. And this one is for anyone who has been inundated with lemons at the moment, because it's totally lemon season. So we're talking about doing lemons, like lemon. Oh, let me just turn that off for a second. We're talking about doing things like lemon preserves. We're also talking about things like salted lemon. So then you've also got the ability to put your lemon through your tagine, which is what I did yesterday. We're talking about juicing your lemons or your limes, because it is that time of the year, and then taking the juice and putting it into ice cubes, freezing it in the freezer, and then putting the frozen ice cubes into a bag. And then you've always got lemon juice, frozen lemon juice, that you can add into your dressings or add into your healthy desserts or whatever it is. And another thing you can do with it, and it's in my Healthy Treats cookbook, is you can make an egg-free, I do an egg-free, dairy-free, sugar-free lemon curd. It's amazing, and that's in the Healthy Treats cookbook as well. So that ebook is, as I was saying, it's available on the store, on the Facebook store. You can go down there and you can download it, and can be delivered to your email instantly. You can get that one as well. But we've got another Healthy Treats that we're doing today, and as I was saying, I'm a little bit excited about it. This bit of Healthy Treats that we're going to be doing, and it is a coconut flatbread. So there's only, as I was saying, 4 ingredients to this coconut flatbread. It's really easy to make, requires only a little bit of time, and then we're going to cook it into a bit of a frying pan as well. So I'm going to bring you guys down to the bench so you can see what's going on down here. So I've got a little frying pan on here, and I had it just heating up just a little bit, so it is a bit warm, but you don't have to start it off warm, because the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to create your dough. Now, one of my cool little tricks for you guys is when you are weighing ingredients, I like to weigh the ingredients straight into the bowl, and I actually put it onto the scales, which is really cool, because what that basically means is you save on the washing up, which is always a good idea, right? Okay, I'm just changing the mode to make sure I'm going into grams here. Okay, all right, so I've tiered it off, which means when you go to tier or 0, it means it's starting from 0 here. Now the first thing that we want to add in is our coconut flour. I got this coconut flour from Woolies, but it's pretty widely available now, coconut flour all over the place. And I'm going to be adding in 100 grams of coconut flour. 100 grams is about 3.5 ounces of coconut flour goes in there. Get it right. Whoop, 100 and a little bit over 106. That's okay. Won't even bother to take it out. The next thing I'm going to be adding in is psyllium husks. Now, psyllium husks are a soluble dietary fiber, so you're going to be increasing the fiber content in here, which is really good. Will help you to stay regular. But one of the beauties about psyllium husks is it makes things sort of gel and stick together. So this is what's going to help to keep our coconut flatbreads holding firm. So I'm adding into here 2 heaped tablespoons of psyllium husks. So psyllium husks are really, really, really good for us, like amazingly good for us. So that ingredient alone is going to be really good for your gut health, because once again, we've increased the dietary fiber content in our food, which is really important. So give that a bit of a stir. I'm going to add in a teaspoon. There is my teaspoon. I'll get a teaspoon. Actually get a real teaspoon this time. Here we go. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of Himalayan salt as well. Is going to go in there. Bit of salt. And the only other thing to do next is actually to add in some water. So I'm just going to get myself a jug, because I forgot to get one earlier. Oh, I've got a bowl. We need a little bit of water now, and I'm going to be using warm water. So I'm over at the sink, just making the water warm. So I've got myself some warm water. I'm going to change my scales to mils. So now it's on mils.
Just some feedback.
Yeah.
Christine says that they can't read the packaging because it's in reverse.
Yeah, sorry about the reverse, Christine, but you know what, you got to listen to the voice. It's not about reading the packaging, but yes, sorry, all the writing's going to be in reverse when you watch my live videos, I'm afraid. Okay, so I've got warm water. The reason why I'm adding warm water and not cold water is the warm water is going to help the dough to come together as well. So we're after 500 mils of warm water, which actually probably seems like quite a lot, because it's only like 100 mils of coconut flour. But the reason why it is so much is because coconut flour is quite a needy flour. It needs lots of moisture in order for it to not be dry. For some people, they don't like using coconut flour because they find it to be too dry. For this recipe, it is perfect. Now, what you see there is it looks like I've got kind of like a soup, but the longer that I leave this sitting, and we're actually going to leave this to sit for sort of 10 to 15 minutes as we are going along, because as it sits, it's going to thicken. The psyllium husks are also there to help the coconut flour come together as well. So we're going to leave that in there for a little bit of time, about 15 minutes. Just let it sit on the bench. But you just, like, I'm just mixing with a spoon. You don't have to put too much energy into it. But yeah, coconut flour is quite needy. It does need a lot of liquid because it is quite moisture sucking. So that's why we're able to make that much. Look at all that dough we're able to make with just 100 grams of flour. This is such a budget friendly recipe as well, which is great. All right, but here's one I prepared earlier. So we don't have to wait for 15 minutes. And you can see how it's completely come together as well, which is pretty exciting. So I'm able to, with using clean hands, I'm able to pick it up now and actually form it into balls. That's how much, that's how it sort of binds so incredibly well. You wouldn't have thought that I've just stuck half a litre of warm water in there not long ago, because now we actually have a dough. Just like that. How cool is that, right? So now that that is at that point, and this is the kind of texture that you're looking for. If you're not able to literally pick it up and throw it around like it was a softball or a tennis ball, then you need to just sprinkle over a few more psyllium husks. So what I would do, if you find that your dough doesn't have that ability where you can pass it from one hand to the other, if you can't do that, what I would suggest that you do is grabbing up your psyllium husks and just sprinkle over probably half a tablespoon to start, mix it through, wait for a couple of minutes, and then see if you are then able to pick it up and to do that, because that's going to mean that when we cook our flatbreads, they're not going to fall apart on us. We don't want them to be too fragile. They actually need to have some substance to them, and like I said, if you're able to do that, that's really good substance. And the other reason you need to do that is because it's fun. And cooking has to be fun, right? Cooking has to be fun. Okay, so that is perfect dough. That is looking really, really, really good. Over on my pan now, I'm just going to turn it on, and I'm going to get it to start to heat up, doing it on a medium heat. Don't want it too hot, doing it on a medium heat. Now there's a couple ways that you can actually cook your flatbread, and this is where it's completely up to you. You can cook your flatbread by adding oil to your pan, or we can do an oil-free version as well. I'm going to show you both, just so you can sort of see what's going on here. As that's heating up, I'm going to go to what's going to become your best friend in this recipe, is a little bit of non-stick baking paper. So just rip off a bit of non-stick baking paper like that. And then we're also going to do another piece of non-stick baking paper on the top. Now you will be able to get 6 to 8 flatbreads out of that one recipe. So you can actually get quite a decent amount. So you don't need them to be too big. Once again, they're sort of that sort of size, like a large golf ball size. We're going to put that down onto the paper. We're going to put the other paper on top, and you could literally, with the palm of your hand, just flatten it out. Or if you want to be really quick, just go along there with a rolling pin and give it a little bit. I'm just going to make sure that's not getting too hot. Just give it a little bit of a push with the rolling pin. And what you're looking for is kind of that kind of thickness that you can see there. That's what you're after. All right, it's looking good, looking good. So at this point in time, we could do the non-oil way of cooking. And how we do that is we actually take the entire thing, lay it into the frying pan. This is actually really good if you don't have a non-stick frying pan as well, and you do it like that. How cool is that? That is one way that you can cook your bread. So the idea with this is definitely if you don't want to add any more oil, because once again, remember, coconut flour is really absorbent, so you actually add quite a bit of oil in order to get it to not stick to the pan. But if you do this way, you are adding no more oil at all, so it's super, super healthy. And another way you can speed up the cooking process is you can put a lid on it. My little pan doesn't have a lid, but what I do have, another little chef's trick, I have another little pan, and you can also do that as well. I've just created a lid, only because it doesn't have one. But that's how you can speed up the cooking of your flatbread. It takes about, with the baking paper, you're looking at about 2 minutes on either side. And the reason why I put baking paper on the top is because when it's time to flip it, all I need to do is that, and then I put it back down in there. So that's how you do it if you're after a non-oil, or you don't want to add any more oil to your pan. I'm going to show you the other method. Put that there, I'll come back to that later. So the other method is, once again, we need to take up a little bit of baking paper, take up our little ball here of mixture. You don't have to be exact on this part as well. You can literally just be a little bit rough. That's absolutely fine. They can be all sorts of wonderful shapes and sizes, provided that they're the same type of thickness when you roll them out. It doesn't matter what they look like on top. I mean, flatbreads tend to be sort of oblong shapes. That's what you tend to get, but once again, it's completely up to you. See, I'm getting this haze coming off my pan. I'm just a bit mindful of that, and I don't want there to be too much haze, because too much haze is not a good thing. Oh, I turned it off by accident. Never mind. Turning it down. If there's too much haze, it just gets too hot. So I'm just monitoring that. Because my pan's so thin, I've actually got it now on just about medium to low. So if I'm using oil, the type of oil that I'm using, because we're making coconut flatbread, is I'm using coconut oil. Makes a bit of sense, right? And I'm going to brush that over the top of the little flatbread. Then picking it up with my hand, peeling off the paper, it's going to slide it into the pan. But like the last one that I did, I'm also going to invert my pan or add a lid to your pan. And now what we've kind of created is this little oven environment on our cooktop, which is kind of cool. Little, like I said, little nifty chef tricks. And we're so full of tricks. Us chefs, we're really full of tricks. We've all got lots and lots of ways of making food cook faster, especially when you're working on a hotline and you've got, you know, people waiting in the restaurant for their dinner. You're going to make sure to get it out there just like that. So we have all these sorts of wonderful, weird and wonderful little tricks that we use. Now if you're cooking your flatbread without paper and you've decided that you don't mind adding a little bit of coconut oil, look, if you don't want to add coconut oil, you could add avocado oil, is a really good one to do this with, or you could do olive oil as well. That totally works. But if you are doing it like this, you're only leaving it for about a minute on either side. So 2 minutes if it's paper, 1 minute if it's like this. Have a look. It hasn't been a minute. I'm really impatient. Come on, cook faster. No, it doesn't take. I mean, it doesn't take long. Like seriously, this is such a cool recipe. And it is really wonderful if you're wanting to use it like to soak up curries and things like that, which I absolutely want to do. All right, I'm going to have a little bit of a look. Has not even been close to a minute. But like I said, I'm super impatient. Turning it up to medium now. And just using my, my little spatula. What I'm trying to do is just to ease it off. I'm just easing it off the pan here. There we go. Lovely. Just waiting a little bit longer till that minute's up. And then I'm just going to give it a little bit of a... Oh, before I do that, forgot a very vital point. Remember, it's a very absorbent flour, so even though I've only oiled it on one side, you will then need to go across and just brush it with a little bit more oil. Or if you've got one of those fabulous spray oils, this is a really good way just to make sure you're getting a real light dusting of oil. That works too. So you need to oil it again, go on with your spatula, give it a flip. You can see what we're happening there. Yahoo! Pretty cool, huh? Working. I love it when a plan comes together. Now, like I said, I've only been playing around with this recipe this morning. This is brand new. So if you're wanting the written recipe, I don't have one. You need to go back and watch the video again if you're wanting the ingredients, because this is a brand spanking new recipe. Now, if you're wondering, can I use another type of flour instead of coconut flour? Could I use almond flour, for example? The simple answer is no. Marie, I don't know whether these were freeze because I've only made them about half an hour ago and I've never frozen them, but I don't see why they wouldn't, because I'll show you the finished product. So, this is what it looks like. So I don't see why that wouldn't freeze, right? I'm sure you could give it a try. Why don't you give it a try and let us know how you get on? But I don't see why that would not freeze at all. So, where was I at? I can't remember. What was I talking about? What was I talking about, Mahey? Do you remember? No? Oh, flowers. He's obviously paying attention. He has no idea what I'm talking about. Flour. Alternative flours. Here we go. I'm going to come up for this one. So if you are considering using maybe an almond flour or another type of flour, the short answer is no. The reason being is almond flour is not as thirsty as coconut flour, so you won't get that bind happening. This is where coconut flour really comes into its own, and it's one of those ingredients that actually works with this style of cooking. And almond flour just doesn't quite do it. It will taste amazing, but you'll get crumbles. Like your bread will look like that. That's not bread, that's a crumb, or a crouton maybe. But yeah, you do definitely need to use your coconut flour on this recipe. And coconut flour, as I was saying, it's readily available now in so many stores, and it's pretty decently priced too. So 100 grams was going to give you 6, 8, if they're small, maybe even 10 flatbreads just from 100 grams of coconut flour. All right, I'm going to try flipping. Are you ready? I'm not sure if I want to, but it's going to happen anyway. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I just wanted to do that. You don't have to do that either. Unless you really want to. Actually, it's all in the wrist. Can I show you how? It's pretty, once again, it's just little chef's tricks, right? So when it comes to wanting to flip something, because it does look really cool and you look totally professional when you're able to flip, right? Always practice flipping when you're on your own before you try and pull it out in front of a crowd, because things might go wrong. So you want to make sure that you nail it first time. So what you need to do is you bring the item that you want to flip to the front of your pan, yeah? And then using your wrist, you basically just toss it in the air. All I moved was my wrist there. So you move it to the front of your pan, like that. So it's actually naturally gonna fly this way. So I'm bringing it forward and pulling it back with my wrist, yeah? Just like that. Easy, huh? And then you can get real fancy. Ready? I'm gonna try flipping it like really high. Oh, that was like a triple flip. Yeah, but practice makes perfect. Like I said, before you want to pull that one out in public, definitely try it by yourself. And make sure you're doing it with a fairly dry item. Like, you could do it with your first flip of your pancakes. And by the way, I've got a gluten and sugar-free pancake recipe in my Healthy Treats ebook, which is available on my shop now. It is one of my favorite pancake recipes in the whole world. So if you're doing it with pancakes, you want to make sure you flip it the first time, you know, because it'll be raw on one side. Flip it with this first, and then when you're ready to just start showing off, then you can start with the actual flips, because it's already cooked on both sides. A couple of tips for you there. All right, so we're looking pretty good. We're looking like it's ready, which is good, exciting. So let me just turn this off because it's so noisy. Goodness me. All right, so here we have it. This is, oh, it's a bit hot, but it's all right. Here is our coconut flatbread. What you would do with it now, and it's what I have done with it over there, is you would now put that onto a wire rack, just to cool. Put that onto a wire rack, and that'll cool down for you. And once it's cool, you can just treat it like flatbread. So yes, you can have it with curries, but you can also just treat it like a bit of delicious bread. Maybe you've got a wonderful sugar-free jam that I'm just looking at my list. So I actually put that into the cookbook, my sugar-free jam. I did. So in the Healthy Treats ebook. Look, I did not know that I'd put it in there because I've completely forgot. There's 30 recipes in there. My berry chia jam, which is my sugar-free jam, which would go really nice with this, is actually in the ebook as well. So you've got that one there, but you could do some berry cherry jam, sugar-free jam. You could also like make this in dessert and serve this with a bit of coconut yogurt. That would be really nice too. But for us today, we're going to do the savory version of these, and we're going to serve it with the curry. But here's another nice idea. Once it's cold, you could put down your lettuce, you could put down your shredded chicken, and then you could eat it like a wrap. You can actually roll it up, so that, because it's really pliable, so you could treat it like a wrap, or you could even treat it like a taco and put like taco type style fillings in there as well. So many options. Such a wonderful, versatile little bread. Super easy to make and really, really cheap, which is fantastic. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little video. I will be seeing you tomorrow. I've got a really exciting recipe for us tomorrow. Don't forget, if you like this video, please feel free to share it. Please feel free to like it. And if you haven't liked my Facebook page, Bridget's Kitchen, do that as well, because then you get notifications every time I go live. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.